with newly appointed Margate managers and assistant manager Reece Prestedge and Ben Greenhalgh. First of all, guys, congratulations on the job permanently. Your reactions this evening?
Positive. I think we've done what we set out to do. We wanted stability within the changing room and the club itself. And we've got to the points that we wanted to. Obviously we want more, but yeah, we're very happy with being appointed, from how it's gone.
And Ben, how important does this appointment sort of come just a few games before the end of the season? How important is that for you two now to be able to set your stall out early and maybe chase some of them players that you're looking to get in the summer?
I think that's the biggest thing. I think when we've been talking to players, and look, we've been planning long term, not knowing 100%, but we've been planning what we want and where we want the club to be. And at the same time, we've had the backing to go and say, look, go and get any player that we need to get. But at the same time, we've managed it in a way that we believe we would manage it, and we've brought in players that we feel can benefit and not sort of ruffle any feathers in the change room. So I think now the biggest thing is, I think we've had a few performances in the previous three weeks where it hasn't been good enough, and sometimes that can be question marks from players, even from ourselves, of what's going on. And I think now that we see the stability, obviously we're frustrated to do it on the back of a loss, and the one thing I'm really pleased about, it was one of the worst halves of footballs that we've had going down, that we normally were really strong with that, but obviously team talk at half time, discussing what we can do better, and we've come out and given it a proper go in the second half. So we can see there is reactions from players, but the biggest thing now is, I think we've had a spell where we were trying to work players out, and we've improved it, and we've got the target that we need to get to. Now we've got 7 weeks in pre-season to really work with a squad that we can build and go, this is where we're at, this is Margate Football Club. Try not to get a big high turnover and get everybody buying into it.
When you talk about recent performances, obviously they haven't been exactly what you wanted, but now that you've got the job long term and you feel sort of more comfortable yourselves, is that an important factor now when you're having them half-time team talks? And I'm not saying that they were being ignored before, but maybe now the stability of you two being here for long term, does that help you in terms of finishing this season off as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just so players know that where we stand, where the club stands and stuff like that, and also now players have got to prove that they want to be in next year. The players that we brought in, I think they've done well. I think we brought in the right players, like Ben said. But pre-season is a whole new ball game, so we need to know which players are going to run for you and which players sort of have tossed it off a little bit, if I'm honest. But then that's down to us to bring in the players that we need for next season. Obviously, key part of it will be a striker. And from me and Ben's contacts and stuff like that, and just what we've brought in so far, I think we're more than capable of doing it.
Ben, you mentioned about you've always been planning long term, so we don't expect you to give us any names, but is there some sort of in the squad now that you're hoping to still be here come next season, and then obviously adding on top of that with some extras?
Yeah, definitely. We've spoken to quite a few players looking to come in, and I think when we've spoken to some and things didn't happen, we were like, well, look, let's have this conversation if we can next year, and now we're in the position that we can. I think there is going to be a retained list, and there is going to be players we obviously want to keep, but at the same time, we haven't done well enough this year, and that's as obvious as it comes. We're not in a position that we want to be in, so if we were to be naive and try and please everyone and say, look, let's keep everyone the same and give it another go, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and we're going to be looking at 17th, 18th again, which isn't where we want to be. We want to be pushing towards the top end of the table, being the top half at least, and just giving it a better go and putting on more of a show. And I think the one thing that we've struggled with a little bit is we've been taking it game by game because we're in a bit of a scrap, so we have to do that. Whereas come pre-season, we can actually implement a playing style, implement a philosophy, and we go, look, when we're away from home, this is what we might do. When we're at home, we have to have a solid performance, and we've probably gone some weeks at home we've looked unbelievable and haven't won, and some games we've done okay and have won. So we need to actually get ourselves in a position where we know what we're going to do as a team, and we know individually what each player is going to do, rather than hoping the ball falls to you and hoping things bounce to you correctly. So I think a pre-season will show that.
And Reece, you've spoken plenty about the backing you've received from the board in this interim period. Obviously, a really positive conversation again today.
Yeah.
How important is that relationship between yourselves and the board of directors here at Margate, and just how looking forward to you are in sort of making that even stronger?
Yeah, I think to be honest, we've had a great backing. we've actually had the licence, like Ben said earlier, to just go and get players that we can get. But like Ben also said, we weren't going to just go and do that, because it doesn't always work. If you look at other teams that have done it, pumping loads of money in, and then you become that money team, which you're not going to get the right players that way. The players that we will bring in, I can say, will be like more togetherness with the team in that, and the conversations that we've had, I think we're all on the same page in the boardroom this morning. So everything for us is positive, and we obviously look forward to giving it a go with the budget that we get given. So yeah.
And Ben, with 3 games left, 2 league games and 1 cup semi-final, it's easy to look ahead to next season, obviously, but how much of an important end to the season are you looking for from this group of players that we have?
Yeah, I think it's massive, because look, we're going to be here at home on the 22nd against Potter's Bar, and I remember last year, I think we played, off the top of my head, I can't remember who it was, but we had a 2-1 win or something. It was a pretty scrappy performance. Kingstonian it was, yeah, and it was a pretty scrappy game, but we went and won the game, and I think that's got to be the biggest thing, that you want to finish on a positive note to take into pre-season. And like I said a minute ago, look, if we go and lose the next 3 games, we've got more questions to make, and that retained list becomes a little bit different, because if people don't want to prove that they want to play for us now, how can we guarantee that they want to play for us in pre-season? But I think our biggest thing is that we've both played for sort of promotion winning teams, and we know the biggest thing is, and I think it's what we've done reasonably well so far, we can do it better, is having that good buzz in the change room and having a really good vibe, and everybody wanting to spend time with each other, and it's not just rocking up to pick up a pay package, it's rocking up to want to play for each other and want to play for the badge, and that's something that we need to make sure we get right. And there'll be some difficult decisions, there might be decisions that people might not agree with, but we see things obviously differently, there's different things going on in the changing room, and we've just got to make sure that if we get that buzz right, we'll have a good season next year.
Just finally, a question for you both. I know you probably want to go and celebrate your long-term job with the fans this evening, but just finally end on a positive. The new changing rooms are imminent, obviously a redevelopment on the 5 sides here at Hartstown Park as well, lots of other sort of positive surrounding the club. Just how excited are you both to be part of the club at this very moment in its history?
Yeah, I think it's great. We've been obviously looking forward to getting into the changing rooms since we spoke about it anyway. And I just think we've been in the changing room just now, and it's a great. It's a place you want to be. It's the space, the facilities inside of it are great. And when you bring players down to see it, they'll also agree. So yes, but at the moment I think the club's in a very good place, especially what they're putting in and how much they're putting in.
I think for me, and I understand the club gets its critics, which everyone is worthy of an opinion. Some people obviously don't see the full story, we see a little bit more, but I personally wouldn't be at this club as a player if I didn't believe we were trying to do things. Every club I've been at, I've been looking to buy into the project, and look, we play on a brilliant Astro. For me, it's the best Astro we've got in the league. We play on a really good pitch, and we've seen the change rooms, even our change rooms right now, they may look terrible from the outside, but they're better than half the other change rooms in this division. So look, we've got a really, when I come here, I really enjoy to come here. So yes, there's things that can be improved on, but when we look at it and go, look, we've got this great 3G, we're going to have the change rooms, hopefully come pre-season, and then that gives us more of a buzz to work towards, and we can bring in players and go, look, here you go, here's your seat, this is where you're going to be playing, this is your number, look at our pitch. For me, that's a massive selling point, because I won't name names, but some of the clubs you go to in this division, no matter what money they'd try and offer you, couldn't even consider playing for them. So for me, the biggest thing is I wouldn't be here if I didn't buy into the project, and Prez is exactly the same himself. He wouldn't have come back unless he didn't believe what was going on was going to be something positive. So that we've got a really good buzz, and we both want to help build that. We don't want to just, this isn't a stepping stone for Prez as a manager, this isn't a stepping stone for me in a different role. We want to try and do something long term and stabilise the club, which is what's happened in the last 2 years. The club has been stabilised in this division, financially in a good enough position, not running at a loss, which a lot of teams in this division are doing. If they don't go up, they're going to be in a different position next year. So I think we're in that position where, look, we're obviously still putting ideas back to you guys, and it's exactly what the meeting was this morning. We're not rollovers. We're not just saying yes to everything, because we want what's best for the club as well. And we've all agreed in that room today there's certain things that can be done, and I hope the fans can buy into that with us and go, look, you're trying to change things as well, and you want to be here for the positive, and look, our support has been brilliant. So I'm sure, and I hope they'll continue that with us, because that's another reason why I think we've turned around the season.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the long-term appointment, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, Ryan.
Cheers.